Former president of the American Board of Criminal Lawyers, Joe Friedberg, joins us now, also from Minneapolis. Good to have you on the program with us. Chauvin was found guilty on 3 charges, but he will only be given a sentence on the most severe of the 3. Why is that?
That's because you can only be punished once for the same act, and all 3 convictions arise out of the same act. And so he'll be punished for unintentional second-degree murder, which was the most serious of the 3.
So what are the sentencing guidelines, and how will they determine the length of Chauvin's sentence?
Well, the sentencing guidelines are a presumptive sentence that the State Guidelines Commission has set as something that should be followed in most cases. What you do is you take the prior record of the individual. In this case, of course, it's not a prior record. He has no criminal history. And then you look on the grid as to where a person with no prior criminal history should be sentenced according to the Guideline Commission. And the average sentence would be 155 months for a person with no record in this case. The statutory maximum is 40 years, but those are anachronistic and they're not used anymore. So this is a guidelines issue. The states filed aggravating factors. The judges found that 3 aggravating factors do exist and have been proven in this case. And so the law is that at this point, he must at least seriously consider giving a sentence more than the average of 155 months. Exactly how much is guesswork, and Judge Cahill will factor many things into deciding what type of sentence here that he will give ex-officer Chauvin.
What are the aggravating factors that could likely affect this sentence?
Well, he's already found that there was one called particular cruelty, which is that he's found that there's more cruelty in this second-degree unintentional murder than in most. He's found that the victim was particularly vulnerable because he was really unconscious and in custody at the time that the crime was committed. And he's also found that it was committed in the presence of children. Those are all 3 aggravating factors, which all allow him to depart upward from the guidelines. The Minnesota Supreme Court has made it clear that if you go over double, you better have more than just ordinary aggravating factors. So I would think in this case that you can't expect the judge to go over, say, 310 months. And frankly, I'd be very surprised if he went that high.
What do you know about this judge, Judge Cahill, and what does it tell us about the likely sentence that he might hand down?
Judge Cahill has experience as both a prosecutor and a defense lawyer. He's a bright judge. He's well respected by both sides of the criminal justice system. He's pretty even-tempered, and he's smarter than most judges. So all it is guesswork. There have been lawyers guessing as to what kind of sentence he's going to give, and I don't know as I want to join in that particular event, but I would be very surprised if he gave him over 300 months. Let's say he'd probably come down somewhere between 200 and 300 months.
What about victim statements? Because we know that there will be a number of people who will be speaking in the courtroom. Is that likely to impact the sentencing at all?
You know, my own personal opinion is there's 2 things that do not impact a judge in a case like this. The first is the victim statements at the time of sentencing, and the second is the arguments of counsel. Judge Cahill has had a long time to think about this. He will have made his mind up before he comes out on the bench.
All right, we'll leave it there. Joe Friedberg joining us from Minneapolis. Thank you.